Let's see, for those who don't know what's going on internationally and with all the organizations for pluralism, I want to give a short introduction about the initiatives which inspired us to start this. So the ISIPE for now is the most known initiative. It's an international initiative. Shortly what preceded it, what they stand for, and also two examples of economic students' actions and reactions from economists who defend themselves. Anyway, this is just a short quote which only shows that criticism of mainstream economics is not necessarily something new. You already see it in the 19th century. I think Lorenzo, you shared this book, right? You said
just read that passage.
Yeah, exactly. From the wealthy philosophers about the history of economic thought, and yeah, he describes in the 19th century that there was already, when economics was becoming more mathematical and more theoretical, that there was already always a group of unorthodox dissenters, as he calls it, who were very much against this and said, okay, well, you come with these models of equilibrium and stuff, but look at the real world. It's full of wars and revolutions and depressions and social tensions. So, what are you doing with, where's the equilibrium? So this is already something, I think, something old, and you see this re-emerging. And actually, I was surprised to find that already in '92 there was already an article from 44 leading economists in a very big journal.
Dat was mijn promotor, Mark Blau. Mark Blau was
he
was in
Oh yeah, he was from Amsterdam, right? Yeah, Mark Blau, Minsky, Samuelson were already called for a new spirit of pluralism in economics. So this, what we see now, is already began earlier. And then you see in 2000, you see a big manifesto from French students calling for post-autistic economics. So there was a criticism, economics is autistic. They only look at themselves, only at their own science. They don't look at the real world. They don't look at other sciences. They changed their name because they didn't want to insult people with autism. So they changed it to Real World Economics. They made a journal. That still exists, indeed. And then, well, you see, after 2008, I think it's really a booming business for new economics. You see Institute for New Economic Thinking, international organization, the World Economics Association, and the New Economics Foundation from England, all more or less founded in the spirit of we need a new economic thinking and new methods and look at the real world. So rethinking economics, I had a hard time finding out who actually started this ISIPE, but then I found on the website of Rethinking Economics they said we wrote it. So I guess they wrote it. So Rethinking Economics, they said we wrote it with the French PEPS Economy Network and the German. The Germans are very active in this long before the rest, it seems. So we weren't surprised that in Maastricht the group PINE exists, I think, only of German students who study in Maastricht, more or less.
I'm Dutch, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When we were there, we saw only German students. But Rethinking Economics, so they are also planning a conference in May. In September it changed. Okay. They're organizing a conference in the Netherlands with support from a lot of Dutch professors. It surprised us that it was really easy to find a lot of teachers, professors, which support this goal of more pluralism. So this you can look up on the website, or you printed it as well? No? Oh, okay. Well, they say pluralism, and we were often asked, okay, what do you mean with pluralism? And I think they write it down very clear. They talk about three forms of pluralism. In theory, so more variety in schools, economic schools, so not only neoclassical but also Keynesianism, post-Keynesianism, ecological views, Marxist, institutional, etc. They talk about methodological pluralism, so not only the quantitative econometrics, but also qualitative methods used by other social sciences, and interdisciplinary approach. So don't only be, a less autistic but also look at the insights which other disciplines can give about economic issues. And then they propose, okay, what do we want schools to do? And they have a clear list of a few things that schools can do, and it's just, invest in it, hire instructors and researchers who can do this, and formalize the collaboration between social sciences. And I think in Utrecht there are some promising examples which you explained, but maybe not far enough, but there's something happening.
Still improve.
It could still improve, yeah. So this is what they do. They organize reading groups, workshops, conferences. They teach themselves. They fill lecture theaters. And an important thing is that they also, different groups have also analyzed very structurally their syllabuses and the curricula which they study, and criticized it for the lack of pluralism, and drafted alternative programs. So really get into the curricula and write critiques of that. And there are big documents that some groups have produced about on this, which is very interesting to read. And well, just to finish, if you look at whenever these students come out in the open, they are often criticized by economics professors. And the main criticism is always like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. So, for instance, these students and Hajun Chang, they were interviewed for this BBC radio program, and then an economics professor, he just called it silly, uninformed critiques as a reaction to it. And you see this as well when the students organized the walkout of a course in Harvard. When the Occupy movement was also outside, they organized it, and they said, well, this course has a biased nature and contributes to and symbolizes the increasing economic inequality. And Mankiw, his defense was, well, you don't know what you're protesting, and I'm sad to see how poorly informed you are. So this is always, and yeah, he as well, he's talking about woeful ignorance of all the criticisms that neoclassical mainstream economics receives. This is often the response. And yeah, we wrote this as well in the Financial Dagblad in the Netherlands. And yeah, we also got this criticism from some guys who just said, well, you don't know anything, you're students.
But the voices against are kind of very strong. So not just Sargent, who's I think a Nobel Prize winner. You also have Jean Tirole, who went against this French association.
That's right.
2 months ago, 1 month ago, said that we have just standards and we should stick to them, and whoever doesn't stick to them, kick him out of the discipline. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a disproportion in the power that there is on one side and the other, and the reputation of the mainstream side is much stronger than the reputation. I mean, even the Korean guy, his name I cannot pronounce, he's just a reader in Cambridge. And on the other side you have a few Nobel Prize winners. So
we are sticking.
but it's a bit. And Stiglitz and Krugman are just like, there was a
Piketty.
There was a event organized by the New York Review of Books, I think 2 to 3 weeks ago, and Krugman was invited as well. It was about the education of economists and so on, along with sociologists and so on. And Krugman, he wanted to appear as a pluralist, but in fact he was arguing for kind of mainstream policies that have been applied in the US, like expansion and so on, and that's it. So, and that, we have certainly lack a bit of reputation on our side in this game.
But I know, I think what you're getting at is that I think we live now in, there's like a momentum for this, and as an economist, you can't say, well, I'm just doing what we've always been doing before the crisis as well. Like all economists have to more or less present themselves as new thinkers or not doing the same thing as old, but are they really doing new things? You can always question. Maybe, I think, yeah, we talked about this a bit, but it surprises me that so many faculties sometimes present themselves as we're doing everything new, but if you look closely, maybe it's not so different from before. But yeah, to conclude, these are the points to conclude: this dissent and differences, this tension between the mainstream and these unorthodox dissenters is as more or less always existed within economics. And well, now there's a momentum now under the flag of pluralism, and if we really do something, then we probably will receive this critique as well, that we of woeful ignorance and not being uninformed.
And obscurity. So we're just
yeah. So that was my talk.